Hey, y'all, welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, it's Cal Cup Day at Santa Anita on Saturday. And so we've got a bunch of stakes races for the Cal breds. And we're going to talk about the last three. And at the end, we will also give you our late pick five sequence as well as the all turf pick three as of some wagering ideas. The first one we're going to take a look at is the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. It's ungraded at 175,000. It's the ninth race on the card, running a mile and an eighth on the turf for 4-year-olds and up Cal breds. And this is it's a deep field, and it's very interesting in particularly these Cal bred races. It's kind of hard to differentiate one horse from another. There's a lot of sameness in this field. A lot of horses running with similar styles, also with similar speed figures. So really, to me, the couple things that are most important are the race shape and speed. No surprise there. With Jimmy Blue Jeans and Fast Buck in here, I think we're going to have a pretty good pace. So logically, it's going to set up for a late runner, I think. And in looking at this field, I'm looking for the fastest horse, and that's Old Pal. Has the best speed figures, and the last race in particular, I really love the turn of foot. This horse has really nice acceleration, and I think has the most upside of any of the ones in here. So to me, Old Pal is very logical. One that I'm throwing in Allegato as well, although I think as an underlay, I really haven't liked what I've seen from this horse, but the barn is hot, so we're going to throw in Allegato. Weekend is one that at 15-1, I think offers some upside. I kind of liked what I saw in the last race. And Takes Three as well. I think there are a couple that you can think about, but they need to get faster. And all things being equal, I just think Old Pal is one that he's just better than these horses. Really, that's what it comes down to. So if he gets the trip, it should be a win. On the Whim is one I think you can throw in there underneath. I don't think quite has enough to get on the top end, but I think is one that can be competitive in this race. But to me, Old Pal, the one to win, and would be my single on my sequences. Next, we're going to look at the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. It's ungraded at 175,000. It's the 10th race on the Saturday card for 3-year-old Cal breds at a mile and a 16th. And this is an interesting race, I think. Our Heisman is the favorite, but is awful hard to trust. This horse, I got him in his maiden score, and I thought was going to be a pretty good horse, but, he just can't seem to get over the top. And to me, he resembles Skinner from last year, a horse we really liked. But it was apparent that being a closer, Santa Anita is not a track for you. It just favors early speed too much. And I think our Heisman is kind of like that here. This is a good horse who seems to bring it every time, but is running in these speed favoring tracks. That late running style just is, it's going to be difficult to get the job done. But certainly a horse I think you can comfortably use in the mix, but I'm certainly going to try to beat. And who I settled on was I'm a Bad Boy. I liked the race last time, had to go wide, had to do a lot more running than quite a few of these others, and still was able to put a solid effort together. And I think that this one has some nice upside and should be tactically in very good position behind Shea Brennan, whichever it is, and Got him, who likely be the ones up on the top. But I'm a Bad Boy. I think he's going to be tactically in very good position, and that's my pick to win the race. Shea Brennan is really impressed me in the last race. At first, watching it, I thought maybe there was just a speed bias at Los Alamitos because there were a lot of horses coming late, and just it was like there was a wall or a force field up there that wouldn't let them get past Shea Brennan. But in retrospect, I think just Shea Brennan ran a really gritty, tough race. Now, whether or not that kind of effort takes something out of him into this one, I don't know. But I just really liked what I saw. I thought there was a significant amount of early runners, and this one was able to withstand the pace challenge and hang on to the very end to get the job done. I thought it was a really solid effort. So Shea Brennan, while I don't know necessarily that this would be, it's going to be kind of the same type of situation at Los Alamitos, but I don't know if doing that again, it'd be a pretty tall order. But Shea Brennan, I think, certainly one you want to keep in the mix. Drop 'em is a mystery to me because you can't find Pleasanton replays, or I was not able to. So I really haven't been able to see much from this horse, but likes to win, and you have to like that, and has beaten our Heisman, who's the favorite here, at 10-1. I think probably has to get faster, but certainly one who's competitive like that, who likes to win, I think is a good bet to stay into the mix, maybe not necessarily to get on top. And then finally, Accidental Genius. Again, the Skinner effect. Being a late runner at Santa Anita, going to be hard to get the job done, but I did like the flourish in the last one, and I think this one will be coming late at 20-1. You get a good price, and probably one to spice up the exotics, and that would be the extent of my interest. The last race is the California Cup Oaks. It's the ungraded 175,000. It's the 11th race on the Saturday card, run at a mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies, Calbred. Excuse me, need a little lubricant. So we look at this field, and this is, again, very similar to the Unusual Heat in that we've got a lot of sameness in a lot of these horses. Again, hard to differentiate. What I did in this race in particular, it's class, upside. Of course, we always look for that, but also speed. And less is more. I really loved it, the front-running effort last time. I thought it just showed a lot of grit to hang in there. Being the lone speed in a field like this, it's entirely possible that less is more with a little bit of a nudge forward could wire this field. And it showed me enough to think that this one can stay in the mix. So at 6-1, you're getting a pretty good price, and I think you need to use. Tequila and Therapy, I just don't think is quite good enough. But you got to love a horse who always brings it every time, dirt, turf, or whatever. And, has a lot of fight. And there's a lot of fight in this dog. So to me, she's one that you have to keep in the mix for that reason. Primarily, I just don't know that she's got the top end to win this. Now, In the Air Tonight is a horse, to me, that is, I think, sneaky good in here at 8-1. This horse has really good back class, has run against the likes of Thought Process, who is a hell of a good filly, and is run against much better than here. And now coming back into the state bred ranks, I think this would be welcome class relief. A little horse, didn't realize quite how small In the Air Tonight is, and sometimes they can get swallowed up in these bigger fields, but I think this one still has some upside, and at 8-1, I think is one that you have to consider, and if you can get the trip, could be dangerous. Hey Jesse is really logical in here. Whenever you see co-favorites at 4-1, obviously we've got to try to find some value here. I wasn't really able to find a long shot I was really excited about. If you really pressed me for one, I might say Musical Number is one who had it wide last time and seemed to put a pretty good effort together and looks to be on the improve. I just didn't see enough there to where I could put her on top comfortably. But Hey Jesse seems very logical. Dirt or turf, either way, just seems better than most of these. That's really what it comes down to. However, in watching her run, she does have a bit of a grinding type of style, and that is beatable. And I think you can do that here with Take Another Card, who was my pick to win it. That maiden effort was damn impressive in the chute at 6.5 furlongs. Bobbled at the break, as many firsters will, and just didn't give up and just steadily wore the field down, just kept on coming and inhaled them in the stretch. It was just too impressive a race to overlook. I don't like taking maidens moving into Stace Company. I think you guys know that about me, but there are exceptions, and I think this is one of them. It reminded me to a certain degree of Jonathan's Way and his maiden victory at Saratoga that was so breathtaking. So this is a horse with a lot of upside. And 6.5 furlongs at the chute, the downhill chute at Santa Anita, kind of plays like a mile. And what are we running at here? A mile. Pedigree says that the distance isn't going to be a problem. The only thing you got to worry about a little bit is the come down off an impressive first effort. But I'm willing to take the chance, especially at 4-1, and hopefully we can get something close to that. But I think Take Another Card is the horse to beat in this race. Just mentioned Grateful My Love. This is a horse that just seems to have a little too much to do too often. It is really my knock on her more than anything else. I think this one will be coming late, but given the way it just seems to take a little too long to engage and get going, is going to be at a disadvantage, but certainly a horse you can use underneath in your exotics. But Take Another Card, the horse to beat here. So we'll look at the late pick 5, and we'll just talk about the first 2 legs briefly. And the 7th race is leg 1 is a maiden special weight at 6 furlongs for Cal breds. And for 3-year-olds rather, and this is a race that is a little tricky, as maidens often are. But I'm settled on basically, all 3 of the horses in this field, or the 3 I've listed here, they're all beatable. It's one of those races. It's a little, you kind of have to have a leap of faith. Number 5, Cohen J, is the favorite at 7-5, and he's very logical. You look at his running lines, but he just can't seem to finish the job. He's had 3 straight races where he was on the lead, looking good, and just couldn't finish. And now he's coming off the bench, which is certainly welcome, and he'll be firing fresh. It's just hard to trust, and at 7-5, I mean, you got to include him, but I'm not happy about it. Number 6, Glass of Jameson at 10-1. Peter Yurton's cold at the meet so far, but he can heat up at any time. He has that kind of barn. Had a wide ride in the dirt debut, but was the post-time chalk, so obviously the word was out and there were some expectations with this one. Now a gelding and getting Lasix and switching surfaces, so there's a whole lot of changes here. It's only been about a month, not quite a month since he's been gelded, and I tend to like to see him gelded for like over 30 days for it to take effect, but I trust Peter Yurton. He's 23% with first-time turf and 24% with the second race, so I think better is logical to be expected here. He just looked like a firster, he got around the turn and just sort of flattened out, but could certainly do better, and maybe switching to turf will mean the difference. So I think Glass of Jameson at 10-1 offers some nice value in here. Number 7, Hothead, is I think is probably the one most logical to win this race at 6-1. He's got the look of a horse who's going to relish turf. And Bodie Express is 20% first-time turf. I am a little surprised Mark Glatt didn't move Hothead to turf a little sooner. He's had 3 starts on turf and all have been the same. And the one thing that's encouraging from that, I would say, is that turf horses, when they have to run on dirt, the longer they do it, race by race, the worse it gets, because they get frustrated running on a surface they don't like. And I think that Hothead sort of has the look here. But if you do see the first couple of calls, this horse is right there with some pretty good company. And so that, to me, with this, the surface change, I think that could just, the light bulb could go off for Hothead. Mark Glatt, again, 30% at the meet, and you get Flavien Prat as an added bonus. I think there's a lot to be said for that. So Hothead would be my pick to win, but it is a little, it's a little tricky race. And if you want to add another one on there at a price, the 1 horse, I really like the Tab. A lot of good, solid 5 furlong works that hint of speed and should have the stamina. I don't like the rail for a maiden first timer, but Anyways, a horse that might surprise, and you're going to get a price. So one to think about if you're trying to find an overlay. Race number 8 is an optional claimer at 20,000, running 6 furlongs on the dirt. And to me, this race was all about class. Number 3, Bob's Blue Moon, is at 10-1, which I think is a fantastic price. This is a pretty good class drop following a second in an optional 62.5 at Pleasanton. He had a good, long, sustained drive, and with a big field here and a lot of early runners, that might be the ticket. And I think he's in good form with all the early look here. I mean, I think he's got the right running style. Bob's Blue Moon at 10-1, off excellent value, really good shot to win this. I settled on number 4, Lonesome Stew, who is the 2-1 favorite. Again, Mark Latt, he's 30% of the meet, and he's 4 for 7 when using Antonio Fresu. Moving back to dirt after a starter allowance win at Del Mar, but 2 back, be much better at with a nice wire job and an option 50. And again, another one dropping in class. That type of effort, and the fractions that he's comfortable running at I think, will waste a lot of the other confirmed front runners in this race. And I think Lonesome Stew is a very logical pick. Now, to go the other end of the spectrum, we'll go with number 7, Wind Ribbon, at 5-1. It's going to have to step it up a bit, but has the right style, a closer, late runner, and if things do get hot on top here, then could be coming late and could benefit from it. You get Flavian Pratt as well. Kind of hard to trust a 9-year-old at this point, but it looks to be a decent enough form, and I have to believe that Flavian Pratt is a good sign, especially when this one's not up for a tag. So to me, Wind Ribbon at 5-1 would be a logical one as well. So then, we'll look at the others. We're going to single Old Pal in the Unusual Heat, and then in the Cal Cup Derby, the 3 is our pick, but we're going to use I'm a Bad Boy, but we're going to use the 1 and 5 as well. And then in leg 5, the Cal Cup Oaks, I like the 12 a lot. Take another card, but we're going to use In the Air Tonight as well as Hey Jesse as logicals as well. So that's an $81 ticket, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 on a $1 base. Obviously, if you want to go at the 50-cent level, it's $40.50. Santa Anita also has an all-turf pick 3 on Saturday. It's races 7, 9, and 11 now. Right off the bat, I'll just tell you this is a $3 bet. It's so it's a little pricier than the others, but obviously, if there's greater outlay, greater reward, hopefully. Leg 1, race 7. Again, I'm throwing the 1 in there as well, but if you don't want to, I could understand that there's kind of just me searching for a way to get a price into the ticket. So we'll go 1, 5, 6, and 7 with Hothead as our choice to win it. And again, we'll single Old Pal in the Unusual Heat. And then in the Cal Cup Oaks, take another card with In the Air Tonight and Hey Jesse. So that's 4 by 3. That's 12. That's $3 ticket. That's a $36 total outlay. So that gives you a couple of sequences to think about on Saturday. It looks like it's going to be a pretty fun day of racing. Usually is on Cal Cup Day. Hope this analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy, and I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And thanks to all of you who have come on board. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.